The Netflix offer and the Paramount offer, they're not apples to apples because Paramount's offer includes the cable networks. Just give us the details there.
Yeah, that's totally correct. So they're different numbers and they're different assets. Paramount wants the whole company. They want all of Warner Brothers Discovery, including those cable channels like CNN.
Which would mean CNN would live alongside CBS, which would be this bizarro world that has never existed before but could exist in the future.
Exactly. Netflix, they just want streaming in studios.
Which makes sense because they don't have those assets right now, so it would be really outside of their core competency to bring in, live TV.
That's right. Yeah, and if Netflix takes it, we'll see the spinoff of Discovery Global. Those would be those cable networks.
Okay, so then it raises the question of what ends up happening to those spinoffs and how are they valued?
Yeah, so that's the huge question here that, shareholders, the board, that's what they're looking at and weighing these two offers. They're trying to determine which one is superior. And the value of those cable networks, that's a key factor in that. And, Paramount is arguing that those cable networks are low, maybe around $1 per share. And, the lower that they want it, the sweeter their deal looks.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're kicking around $4 billion with our own internal Bloomberg intelligence folks. Having said that, I think, Hannah, you want to take a step back, go back 10 years, 20 years. Who would have thunk, right, that the cable industry would be facing such troubles or declining audiences? But here we are. I mean, viewers have a lot of options.
It's true, yeah, and it's very interesting to see this consolidation play out. You would maybe see two news organizations living alongside each other. These struggling cable networks housed under one entity if Paramount gets it. So it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out.
Although you think about NBC or something, right? They moved into a business news channel. They have MSNBC, or used to have MSNBC, not anymore. But I'm saying the idea of Paramount having kind of a traditional network and then another cable network, some have thought, they have some digital, I think, offerings, but it doesn't necessarily it's not crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and I think we have to remember here that, the most valuable IP is that movie and studio stuff. We know Paramount is leaning
feeding
really
the beast,
hard.
the content beast.
Yes, and David Ellison really wants to build out that Paramount Plus streaming service.
But I think Carol brings up a really good point, and that's when this is what she was flicking at, this idea that, even traditional media companies that have long had these storied cable assets, they're now trying to figure out what the future of those are. So you have, CNBC and the company or the network formerly known as MSNBC, now MS Now, being spun off into this separate publicly traded entity that Comcast has ownership of called Versant. And, they're trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to value that?
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see, Versant is supposed to start trading in the new year. And that value, I mean, who knows? We'll see if that could play into what's happening with these negotiations.
Good point.